Has this ever happened to you? That connection that hits like lightning and changes everything? A meeting of eyes that seems to echo from other lives, other dimensions. You don't quite understand why, but you feel as if you've known that person even before you were born. It's as if the universe had marked that moment with cosmic ink on your destiny, part of a silent agreement made between souls long before you reunited here. The strangest thing is that, even without knowing them deeply, you feel at home with that person. The touch, the smile, the silence, everything communicates something beyond words. It's the energy of twin flames recognizing each other. It's spiritual awakening in love happening right there, in front of your eyes, but beyond the control of reason. It feels like magic, but it's the kind of magic only the cosmos understands, and sometimes, only the heart accepts. But suddenly, everything changes. A sudden absence, a painful distance that makes no logical sense. It wasn't fights, it wasn't routine. It was something greater. It's at that moment many realize that what separated them wasn't life itself, but the universe. And there arises one of the deepest pains of the soul, feeling separated by the universe, as if something sacred was taken away too soon. But, what if that separation is also part of the plan? If you've ever felt this way, stay with me until the end, because what you're about to watch will help your soul understand what the heart hasn't been able to explain yet. 1. The connection beyond the visible. There are connections that defy logic, and honestly, maybe they aren't meant to be understood by the mind. These are encounters that seem written in the stars, as if two souls had agreed on this moment way up there, before incarnating here. When this happens, it's not just chemistry. It's spiritual memory. It's like the heart saying, "Hey, we already know each other, remember?" That deep sense of familiarity, that immediate fit, is one of the clearest signs of soul connections. No matter how much time passes, or how many lives have been lived apart, when these souls meet, everything awakens. It's the beginning of spiritual awakening in love, where even the silence between two people seems to carry coded messages from the universe. The vibration changes. The breathing sinks. The energy dances in harmony. I've seen people who, upon touching hands for the first time, burst into tears without knowing why. Others who dreamed of someone before ever meeting them in person. This isn't mere imagination, it's real energetic connection. But here's the thing, the same universe that unites, can also separate. And that's when the journey starts to take a different path. 2. When the universe separates. When the universe separates, it's not like an ordinary breakup. There are no farewell words that fix things, nor rational explanations that soothe the heart. It's as if something invisible was torn from the soul, as if your very energy was split in two. It's spiritual separation, a silent but deep rupture that makes you question even your sanity. After all, how can something so strong just end? But it doesn't end. It just changes form. Separation is a call from destiny, a subtle warning that it's not yet time to bloom together. Sometimes, the universe pulls apart two souls that love each other because the love still needs to mature. Other times, it protects us, from ourselves, from our shadows, from repeating cycles that need healing. It's hard to accept, but not every distance is punishment. Many are blessings in disguise. This pain has a purpose. It's where the soul is sculpted, where the ego breaks, where true spiritual awakening in love happens. Have you ever noticed how many times you only transformed after losing something important? Separation forces you to look within, and it's in this dive that you find not only answers, but versions of yourself that were hidden. And when this new version starts to emerge, that's when the garden metaphor begins to make sense. 3. The spiritual garden. Think of two seeds planted in different soils. Each one needs its own time, its own season, its own process to bloom. If you try to bring them together too soon, without strong roots, both risk withering. The universe, with its infinite wisdom, knows this. And that's why it often causes what we call separated by the universe, not as punishment, but as loving protection. I've seen many twin flames meet before their time. They loved each other, yes, but still carried pain, fears, insecurities, and that sabotaged their own love. When each one strengthens in their own spiritual garden, the chances of blooming together in the future increase. It's like taking care of yourself before taking care of the other. And this time of inner cultivation can be one of the most powerful phases of spiritual awakening in love. Now imagine your inner soil is fertile, but you don't fully know yourself yet. How will you sustain such a strong connection without losing yourself? The universe, in this case, acts like a careful gardener, separating out of love, not abandonment. It knows true love needs deep roots, and that the reunion, if it happens, will be between two whole souls, not needy halves. And it is in this time of silent growth, that the signs of the soul begin to emerge. 4. The silent signs of the soul. Even with the distance, the signs continue. Suddenly, that person appears in your dreams, with such a real presence that you wake up with your heart racing. You feel at peace, and out of nowhere, you sense an inexplicable longing. Or you hear a song and tears just fall. It's as if the soul is whispering, "Hey, the connection is still here." Because, in truth, soul connections don't disappear, they just change frequency. These signs aren't coincidence. They're echoes of something that was, but still vibrates inside you. It's like an underground river, invisible, but pulsing. The energy of twin flames keeps flowing, even without physical contact, even if you're living different lives. It may seem crazy to those who've never felt it, but those who have lived this connection know, the universe speaks in silence. And sometimes, that silence shouts louder than 1,000 words. At times, the soul senses before the mind even realizes. A restlessness without reason. A tightness in the chest at the exact moment something happens on the other side, with the other person. I've heard stories of people who knew the other was hurting, even after being separated for years. This is spiritual awakening in love in its purest form, the awareness that something greater is guiding everything. And in this awakening, the emptiness begins to turn into a portal of healing. 5. Healing in separation. Separation is not the end of the story, it's the beginning of your own healing journey. When the soul is torn away from something so intense, it enters a void where everything echoes, lack, old fears, insecurities that were dormant. It seems cruel, but it's in this silence that the truth appears. The universe uses this absence to reveal what needs to be healed. And as painful as it is, this is one of the most sacred stages of spiritual awakening in love. It's in this solitary process that you discover who you are without the other. You start to realize that what hurt so much might have been a reflection of something within you that needed attention. And then, over time, pain becomes a teacher. You begin to take better care of yourself, understand yourself more, and rebuild with greater strength. Some people start meditating, others return to writing, some seek knowledge. Books like The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, for example, can help in this rediscovery. This is the moment when the soul stops looking outside for what can only be found within. And then, something magical happens, the love that seemed to have disappeared, begins to be born again, but this time inside you. The energy of the soul connection transforms into fuel for self-knowledge. And the more you heal, the more you feel that maybe, the reunion was never with the other person, but with your most whole version. 6. About reunion, or not. Not every soul that touches you is destined to stay. And that's okay. Sometimes, the reunion we expect doesn't happen with the other person, but with ourselves. And that doesn't lessen the depth of the connection, nor the love experienced. Some soul connections come just to awaken. They are like a divine breath saying, "Wake up, you are more than you think." And when that breath passes, it leaves a new version of you in the making. The external reunion is beautiful, of course. But the real miracle happens when you reunite with the part of yourself that was reborn from that pain. A more conscious, intuitive, and purpose-driven part. Separation forges a new you, stronger, calmer, more prepared to live a cosmic love that isn't about dependence. Because true love doesn't suffocate, it doesn't demand. It is freedom. It is expansion. Those who understand this realize the universe never makes mistakes. It separates when needed, reunites when the time is right, and teaches all along the way. Some twin flames reunite. Others follow different paths, but carry the light of that connection into other areas of life. And that light, it never goes out. It just changes direction. Because even without physical presence, the love that comes from the soul keeps shining. And sometimes, it shines even brighter when it's distant. 7. The stars. Have you ever stopped to think that some stars keep shining even after they're dead? It's a real phenomenon. The light we see here from Earth may have left the star thousands of years ago. In other words, even if the star no longer exists, the light remains. Certain soul connections are like that, they transcend time, space, and even absence. They are like beacons burning inside the soul, lighting paths even when the presence is gone. Some try to extinguish these lights, pretending they never shone. But the heart knows. Spiritual memory is stubborn, it holds on to what was true. When a twin flame passes through your life, even briefly, something awakens. It's as if an inner flame lights up and says, "You have loved deeply, you have felt the infinite." And that alone changes everything. Because after that, you never accept less than what is real. Separation, in this case, doesn't erase, it transforms. The light of this connection begins to shine within you. It guides decisions, inspires changes, and becomes the foundation of a greater love for yourself, for the other, and for destiny itself. Even if the person took another path, what was lived pulses in your spirit. Because the universe doesn't play with this kind of love. It sends it to awaken, to teach, to elevate. And the light it leaves, is eternal. If you feel separated by the universe, take a deep breath. Breathe calmly, with awareness. This is not the end. It's a divine pause. A moment when the universe whispered, "Take care of yourself now." And maybe you don't understand everything yet, and that's okay. Because there is a greater plan, and every spiritual separation comes with a hidden mission that only time reveals. You are not alone on this journey. Thousands of people around the world are going through the same silent pain, that feeling of having lost something that was never fully theirs, and at the same time, always was. These souls are awakening together, in sync with the same cosmic energy. They are learning that the deepest love doesn't always need physical presence. Because true spiritual awakening in love is the one that begins within. And if this touched your heart in any way, I invite you to continue with me on this journey. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications, so you don't miss a single step of this series. Share your story in the comments, yes, tell me, I really want to read it. Share this video with someone you know needs to hear this today. And most importantly, get ready. Because in the next episode, we'll talk about the most powerful phase of all, soul healing. See you there.